Hey, welcome to Blue Jacket Apiary. It is a gorgeous day out here in the middle of Missouri, and I took a stroll out to my hives, and I'm glad that I did, but in some ways I wish I wouldn't have. I lost 4 or 5. One of them, they just ran out of honey. They just ran out of stores. And that happens. That is the reality of beekeeping. Unless I want to spend the time and money on making sugar water and feeding my bees, which at this stage I'm just not ready to do that. I have to know if my bees can survive here and how many colonies my area will support. Because there comes a time where you reach a threshold where the area just won't support any more colonies. And so I'm trying to figure that out right now, and unfortunately it comes at the expense of losing colonies. The other 3, I have no idea what happened. Plenty of honey. There was a significant amount of honey in the other 3 that just didn't make it. I think I don't know if they just weren't big enough going into winter, because there were bees in the bottom. I mean, dead bees in the bottom, and there were bees clustered on frames, and they were, face into the cell trying to get honey. But that doesn't make any sense, because there was plenty of honey in there. Did they have a really heavy mite load before the winter got here and they just didn't make it? Well, that's a possibility. And as cold as it sounds, I don't want them in my apiary if they can't handle the mite loads. The one that did make it, man, those little ladies must be tougher than nails. So if you remember, last year I split my survivor, and I waited. They never made a queen, so I bought a queen, put a queen in there. 3 days later, went out to check to see if they'd taken her, and they did, but there was another queen in there, so I had to split that hive. And I took some frames from my other hives that were a little bit bigger and put them into that split, that, oh my goodness, what's going on split, where'd that queen come from split. So I don't have any idea about the lineage of that particular hive that survived the winter. I don't know. And quite frankly, it doesn't really matter. I get bonus points for knowing what line my bees come from. I would argue that mutts tend to do a little better, but that's neither here nor there. The situation is just that. I've got 5 colonies out there. I made it with 1. I've got boxes for 4 colonies that are now empty, except for the honey stores that were left in there. I opened them up. I opened the entrances to the hives all the way open, in the hopes that survivor hive goes and robs them blind of all that honey. If they do that, man, that's just amazing, because that just gives them more honey to make it through these last couple of months. If I remember right, I came out here in January at some point when it was warm, and I had activity in all 5 of them. So sometime between then and now, I lost 4. So I've got to make a decision. What am I going to do with that one lone colony? Well, one thing's for sure, I'm going to split it. Do I do that in May? I don't know. I'm going to let them tell me. I'm not going to do a split till I start to see a significant amount of drone in the colony, and some open brood. That way, if I move things around, there's plenty of drones out there flying around for the queen to mate. The other good thing is that they will have plenty of drawn comb, because the 2 nukes that I bought this year, I gave them some empty frames to draw out comb. And so I've got some foundationless frames out there with comb that's fresh, or, well, less than a year old. And that'll be helpful. But whatever happens, I'm going to leave those boxes out there, because I don't know if mine are the only bees in the area. And so if the colony that does survive decides to swarm, maybe, knock wood, they will get into one of these other boxes. which would be great. Just kind of bummed that I went in with 5 colonies and came out with 1. And I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch, not at all, because I still have 2 months. I mean, it's a gorgeous day out here, and it's probably high 50s, low 60s. But, you know, March still coming, April still coming. Who knows what the weather is going to be like. This is Missouri. If you don't like it, you can wait 5 minutes and it'll change. So, it's a sad day at Blue Jacket Apiary, but that's just a part of beekeeping, you know, losing colonies. I'm not in a race to see how many I can keep year to year. I don't have to be better than any other apiary out there. I don't have to be better than any other beekeeper out there. I just want to keep my bees on my land. And I want to keep the strong ones. I want to keep the survivors. And I've only got 1 of those this year, so we'll see what happens. Hey, thanks for coming along on this journey. I'm trying to learn as much as I can about bees, and every time I go out there, I learn something new. And thanks. And remember, y'all, be kind.